You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Poor road infrastructure in garden compound IRKS residents. Discovery of expired medicines at ZAMMSA disappoints health minister. A LUSAKA juvenile accused of murder appears in court for explanation of the charge. In international news, South Africa holds ASTRAZENECA vaccine rollout over new variant. In sports news, FAS disburses sponsorship money to clubs. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day. In a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. Residents of Lusaka's garden compound have bemoaned the state of the roads in the area. The residents have told Camnet News that most roads in the area have remained in a deplorable state, causing water to flood their homes. And a resident identified as Proud says the road that leads to the Muteo market in the area was once funded by the World Bank during the presidency of Dr. Kaunda, and that the road has never been worked on since. And Area Councillor Adrian Banda has told Camnet News that there is less that government can do to ease the road and drainage challenges in the area. Mr. Banda says his office has already reported the matter to the relevant authorities and that works will commence as soon as the rain season comes to an end. Details in this report.
A good road network plays a very important role in the development of the country. While goods and products are able to move freely, time, a commodity that cannot be banked, is also well utilized as less barriers are attached to the movements of goods in a well-maintained road. And while some parts of the country have received a share of the cake called good road networks, others have remained in a deplorable state, and residents are now calling on the relevant authority to come to their aid. The story is not different for residents of Lusaka's garden compound who feel they have waited long enough to receive their share of their cake.
Here in Kwamutonyoku garden we are suffering a lot. Can you see this water? Oro muntu wadwara ukudika uyimirire ku road kuja kukatima muliro kujambula buru wako odwara. So we need the grader the VWERSE. We wanted to see grader mu 2012 pamene basata wanabwera. So tipempa wa president Warungu. We have seen this empowerment from the Minister of Lusaka province. He should also help the people of garden. Right now we don't have a grade, including police to live a motoka. We are living as if we are also one of our sea.
Kwa mjile road nice. Ndawa soso garden na nawa me malodu ku. Kulie kapena muzapeza muntu okumba mfolo kulibe. Mwaona manza kawela ngoyenda tabi manza piti. Manza ngena munyumba mukitoka panga kana kufugo na ngwerere. Nikutu.
Nko ipa kanu karodi. Muna mwaye mwakapeza ko so nda mvula pa yesterday sinaloka. Ikaloka mvula road is impassable. But nikarodi kamozi kanga tipaseko na access yakuti ichite lessen congestion ku main road kuti ntinga pempeko chabe vatiganizireko kuti vakapena vangaiteko marabozi o vangaikonzeko chabe yo na tuma drainage twa mumbali mukulipe noona mpeza timanzi yankalira for a long time.
And one of the main roads in the area, called Kamoneka Road, has continued to lose its shape few years from the time it was maintained. The residents are now concerned that motorists may end up colliding in their homes in the process of trying to avoid the potholes on what they term as a very busy road. And area councillor Adrian Banda says less can be done to the road and drainages in the area, considering that the rain season has come with its own challenges. He has, however, assured that works on the road will commence as soon as the rain season comes to an end.
After the rains end, that's when they're going to work on the road.
When the rains end?
Yes, that's when we're going to work on the road. Because when the road comes with a modern drainage. Yes, temper everything, because grading comes with other consequences. There's some pipes under down, so when you grade it, when you just damage the pipes, it's another thing. So that's why we always bring people who are technocrats. They do the assessment, which we have done, because Garden has got 11 kilometers in total, and you have done 6.5 kilometers. So the remaining, those are the one of the roads which we need to do.
Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
LCC Public Relations Manager George Sichimba has bemoaned the high levels of vandalism of the streetlights under the management of the council, describing it as a drawback. Last year, as of February 2020, the local authority recorded 16 cases, of which 10 were recorded along Great North Road, while 6 were recorded in Kanyama. LCC Public Relations Manager points that vandalism cases are proving to be a big drain on council resources. He explains that replacing one pole and accompanying components costs about 20,000 kwacha. Mr. Sichimba has since warned the people behind the incident of vandalism that they are doing so at their own peril.
We have been receiving a lot of cases of vandalism in public installations. This is street lights, for example, and many others. And so, as Lusaka City Council, we are trying by all means to replace them. But this is a drawback on the finances of the council. And again, our appeal to residents of Lusaka is that government and Lusaka City Council are doing a lot of projects in this city. And these projects are supposed to benefit all of us. If we put up street lights, for example, they are not meant for an individual, a selfish individual for that matter, to go and remove the components and go and sell. So we want to work together so that when this city is developed and it's lit, it will help all of us in terms of security and many other things. You can do business at night, thinking that you are safe. So those that are in the habit of vandalizing public installations, they are doing so at their own peril, because once they are caught, they will be prosecuted in the course of and the law will take its course.
Southern Africa Interfaith Peace Mission has called on the clergy in the country to desist from uttering words that may divide the country, but instead be instruments of peace. Interfaith Director Howard Banda has told Camnet News in an interview that the remarks by some clergy have the potential to divide the country. Mr. Banda says there should be a systematic approach towards matters that define a political process. He says as the political atmosphere is getting more intense, messages of love, peace and unity should be the focus of those who are tasked with their responsibilities of preaching God's word. Mr. Banda has since recommended Father Lupupa for taking a bold step to apologize for the remarks made. Details in this report.
The political atmosphere is getting charged. Tempers are rising as people have continued to express their views on many issues affecting the political atmosphere. However, the Southern African Interfaith Peace Mission says there is need for the clergy to play a role at ensuring that peace prevails in the country as we edge towards the day that every Zambian is looking forward to. In his response to the words uttered by Father Lupupa, Interfaith Director Howard Banda says the remarks are regrettable as they compromise the peace of the nation that is built on different views from different people.
Attributed to one clergy, Father Lupupa. we came out in the way that there should be a systematic approach towards matters that defines a political process, especially when you look at, we are in a voting attitude where people getting ready to choose a leader, a president or a political party to govern the affairs of the nation. We, in the clergy part, we need to be very sensitive and very careful. You don't jog like that on the pulpit. And because in that church, there are many people, different views, ideas, and affiliations. So what we speak actually will always, is either to wound somebody or to make somebody advantageous than the other. So we should play a role that will actually equate feelings, bringing feelings together and putting them to an equal platform where they feel they are all accommodated.
Mr. Banda has, however, recommended Father Rupupa for taking a step and apologizing to the nation after realizing his mistake.
Father Rupupa came out to apologize for those remarks, and who are we to deny that? And if you're not going to say he's forgiven, then let's not call Zambia a Christian nation. He understands Christian values, and he has apologized to the nation. Of course, we all condemn those remarks, whether anyone coming from UPND, PF, NDC, DP, whatever the party, no one was happy with those results. In the remarks where somebody was able to say, no, it's better we rig. We don't stop violence by rigging, and we don't stop, hatred by rigging. We stop hatred by instituting dialogue and peace in people that we are actually administrating, especially governance.
The scripture has warned that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruits. Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority has continued to enhance surveillance in various parts of the country with regards to the sale of medical-related products. Authority Senior Public Relations Officer Christabel Iliamupu has therefore revealed that 3 people in Choma District of Southern Province have been convicted and fined for illegally operating agro-veterinary shops without a permit from ZAMMSA, contrary to Section 14 of the Medicines and Allied Substances Act No. 3 of 2013. Details are that Mambo Milambo male, aged 44 years, Ronald Muchila Lumbe, male, aged 34 years, and Bruce Macledo, male, aged 20 years, have been convicted and fined 12,000 kwacha, 8,000 kwacha, and 5,000 kwacha respectively, or in default of payment, 9 months imprisonment with hard labor. The trio appeared before Principal Resident Magistrate Ida Mupemo at the Choma Magistrate Court following the arrest on the 29th of January 2021.
I wish to confirm that 3 people of Choma District in Southern Province have been convicted and fined for illegally operating agro-veterinary shops without permits from the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority, ZAMMSA, contrary to Section 14 of the Zambia Medicines and Allied Substances Act No. 3 of 2013. Mambo Milambo, male, aged 44 years, Ronald Shimbalume, male, aged 34 years, and Bruce Mcledo, male, aged 20 years, have been convicted and fined 12,000 kwacha, 8,000 kwacha, and 5,000 kwacha each, respectively, or in default of payment, 9 months imprisonment with hard labor. The trio appeared before Principal Resident Magistrate Ida Mupemo at the Choma Magistrate Court following their arrest on 29th January 2021. The suspects were arrested during a surveillance inspection that was undertaken by the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority in partnership with officers from the Drug Enforcement Commission aimed at curbing the sale of medicines and allied substances from unregistered premises. And as the authority, we wish to reiterate our position that members of the public should refrain from illegal operation of drugstores or the risk being prosecuted in accordance with the provisions of the law.
Minister of Health Jonas Chanda has expressed displeasure at the number of essential medicines going to waste at the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMMSA. Dr. Chanda says the expired drugs are due to overprocurement, while others are due to the changes in treatment guidelines in Zambia. The health minister says medicines that are near expiration should not be dished to medical facilities, as doing so endangers and compromises the quality of care being given to the public. He said this when he paid a visit to ZAMMSA Monday afternoon. And Dr. Chanda has expressed displeasure that medical supplies and products are going to waste when hospitals do not have medicines and laboratory reagents. He has since directed management to submit to his office a comprehensive report on drugs that have expired and those that have been recalled and the amount involved by Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, the country has recorded 16 new COVID-19 deaths and 940 new cases in the last 24 hours.
Suspension, very important antibiotic, yet it's expiring at medical stores when it's supposed to have been used somewhere in a facility. When was the expiry date for this?
2017.
So
2017.
This is which year is this?
2021.
So 2017 to 2021 is how many years?
3 years.
4 years. Now 4 years we are still dealing with medical things that expired 4 years ago. For the child born 4 years ago, are they still breastfeeding? So this is what we're allowing. So 4 years. Because let me tell you, the real danger, apart from the incompetence in procurement and keeping those things expired, the money that government is wasted and the denial of services to the patient, the real danger is that with the corruption that is rampant in some of our people who are pilfering drugs, they will come and take this same expired thing. It will find itself in a private pharmacy somewhere, and unsuspecting Zambians are going to buy this. When it expired 4 years ago, you are keeping it here. So I just hope there are not those cartels that are getting expired products and going to use them now in pharmacies. They're killing the people. That will be criminal negligence, and will deal very firmly and very strongly against those kind of people. And if they're employees, we'll just fire them on the spot. And then they have to be prosecuted, because that's what you do with criminal, incompetence and negligence. So these things, MD acting, they have to be disposed of. Even if we have to burn them or incinerate them, So next time I come here, which will be in a very few days' time, we shouldn't find this stuff here. It should be burnt, incinerate, whatever you have to do, because the danger, someone corrupt here will get this, get to someone out there, then they put in a pharmacy, in a private clinic, and Zambians will be charged for things that are not working, and that will actually kill them. So it's one thing to supply substandard products, but now even the standard products are being allowed to expire. So in the end, you are collapsing the healthcare system,
Zambia's cooperating partners have pledged $2 billion to the health sector to support service delivery, representing a 29% increase from 2020's pledge. Health Minister Dr. Chanda noted that one key guiding principle in the health sector is forging and valuing strategic partnerships in governance. Dr. Chanda reiterated that the burden of fighting COVID-19 has been mitigated by the unwavering support from cooperating partners. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka on Monday morning, Dr. Jonas Chanda also disclosed that the African Center for Disease Control, through the Southern Africa Regional Collaborating Center, made an assurance over a commitment of $25 million for the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines for health workers in Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, during this meeting, the partners committed to contribute a total of $2,067,787,551 United States dollars. Let me repeat that. During this meeting, the cooperating partners committed to contribute a total of United States dollars $2,067,787,551 United States dollars to support service delivery and health system strengthening, covering the medium-term expenditure framework 2021 to 2023. And we should note that if you compare the amount for last year in 2020, where the partners gave the country $639 million, 300,363 US dollars. For 2021 alone, there's been an increase of 29% from last year's figure of 639,363 to the 2021 figure of $820 million, 155,764. That is a 29% increase from last year's figure. And this $2 billion, like I said, is over a 3-year period, 2021 to 2023, the medium-term expenditure framework. The Africa CDC, Centers for Disease Control, through the Southern Africa Regional Collaborating Center Coordinator, also announced the commitment by the Africa CDC of $25 million for the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines for health workers in Africa. I take this opportunity to most sincerely thank our cooperating partners for the support, even when the confidence in the health sector was low.
Minister of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, Raphael Nakachinda, has charged financing water development and sanitation projects still remain a challenge, needing more support from cooperating partners. Speaking during a virtual meeting held this morning with EU Ambassador to Zambia, Jankek Jankoskwi, Mr. Nakachinda stressed one of the need for the European Union to continue supporting the country in a number of areas concerning water, sanitation and environmental protection. The minister further stated that existing projects meant to improve water and sanitation, Zambia still needs more support, urging the EU to continue working with Zambia and turn challenges into opportunities. Mr. Nakachinda, however, says government is grateful for the support it has received in improving the water and sanitation from the EU, World Bank, among others, amounting to $300 million United States dollars. And Ambassador Jankek Jankoskwi says the EU shall remain supportive of improving lives of citizens in countries that need support.
Financing of water supply, as you may be aware, Excellency, and sanitation, water resource development and management and environmental management intervention has been inadequate, and therefore would appreciate support towards this. Towards one, Water Resource Management Trust Fund, two, development of public-private partnership strategies. The fifth component, Your Excellency, is the management information system. As a ministry, we have developed a concept note. We need support in development of management information system to support evidence-based planning and policy development. As we experience changes in the operating environment, we are faced with new developments such as continuous capacity building, rainwater harvesting technologies is one of the areas where we need your support, and also research and development. Here, Your Excellency, I must emphasize, we are blessed to have very good rains in this season and the previous season, but instead of it being utilized for the benefit of our people, we have ended up, having floods and disasters and so on, because I think we are lagging behind in terms of technology to harvest rainwater. And I think your support in this area will be very critical so that we can utilize the rains the water that comes through during the season.
We now take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GoTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. A 14-year-old boy of Lusaka's Chazanga compound has been dragged to court for allegedly stabbing to death his 12-year-old friend with a knife on the left rib in a fight. This is in a matter where the juvenile offender, who is a schoolboy, is facing one count of murder contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. It is alleged that the juvenile offender on the 29th of December 2021 in Lusaka killed innocent Mwewa after a misunderstanding.
At only 14, a juvenile of Lusaka's Chazanga compound is made to face the law for allegedly stabbing to death his friend with a kitchen knife. What started like a normal fight ended up claiming the life of innocent Mwewa. Allegedly stabbed by his friend after a misunderstanding, Mwewa failed to survive the alleged brutal attack. In this case, the male juvenile offender, aged 14, and a pupil at a named school, is facing one count of murder contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Facts surrounding the matter allege that on the 29th of December 2020, the juvenile offender was at his friend's place where they had a discussion and planned on how they were going to beat up the deceased, Mwewa, who was aged 12 years old at the time. While they were planning the attack, they saw the deceased with his sister going to the market and approached them. The 14-year-old juvenile, who was still in the company of his two friends, picked up a fight with Mwewa, and in the process of the argument, the juvenile offender stabbed Mwewa to death using a knife on his left rib. A post-mortem conducted revealed that a sharp instrument penetrated the left rib to the lungs through to the heart, which caused wounds and blood clots inside the chest. It is further alleged that after stabbing Mwewa, the 14-year-old juvenile offender removed the kitchen knife from his body and went into hiding in Chazanga compound after the general public that witnessed the incident tried apprehending him. The following day, the 30th of December 2020, a juvenile offender was apprehended and taken into custody where he was questioned for the subject offense. The juvenile offender's case was allocated to Magistrate Sunke Chanda, where he is expected to be committed to the High Court for trial proceedings. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka High Court has dismissed a case in which the University of Zambia Lecturers and Researchers Union, UNZALARU, sued the University of Zambia Council and was claiming about $4,505,000 as unremitted union contributions. This was in a case in which UNZALARU Secretary General Kelvin Mambwe sued the UNZA Council on behalf of the union. Dr. Mambwe, in a statement of claim that was filed in the court, stated that on March 23, 1993, the union entered into a recognition agreement with the University of Zambia Council. He explains that the union was entrusted with the role of collecting union contributions on behalf of the union from its members by deducting the said funds directly from their salaries. Dr. Mambwe said the council had been deducting monthly contributions from UNZALARU's members but not remitting the said funds to the union. He stated that the council was owing over 4.5 million as arrears of unremitted union contributions, despite the said funds having already been deducted from the union members. However, Judge Mwamba Chanda dismissed the matter for lack of progress. And still in the news, Lafarge Zambia PLC has sued the Attorney General, Commissioner of Lands, Kafue District Council, and Zambia Police Thrift and Credit Cooperative Society Limited in the Lusaka High Court for encroaching on its land in Shimabala area in Kafue District. Lafarge is seeking a declaration that it is the legal and rightful owner of the land, measuring 63.2310 hectares. The company is seeking an order that the Commissioner of Lands and Kafue District Council provide details of all subdivisions created on its land, plot number 16326/M, and the same be cancelled with immediate effect. Lafarge Zambia is also seeking an order that the Zambia Police Thrift and Credit Cooperative Society Limited removes its fence erected on its land, and that the portion of the said land extending into its property be cancelled with immediate effect. It further wants an order of interim injunction restraining the three defendants from any further transactions on its property until the final determination of the matter. According to its statements of claim, Lafarge said that in June 2004, the Ministry of Lands issued it with a certificate of title of a piece of land situated in Shimabala, and the said land was in the vicinity of the Zambia Thrift and Credit Cooperative Society Limited's land. It stated that in February 2015, the Commissioner of Lands, working together with the Kafue District Council, approved for the erroneous cancellation of lot number 16326/M belonging to it, and that the replanning of the same and remaining extent of farm number 456A into a police farm. And still in the news, the United Party for National Development's Deputy Secretary General Patrick Mcheleka has charged that Zambia has found itself in what he calls a politically motivated debt, which is being wrongly invested, hence the prevailing social and economic challenges. Zambia skipped a $56.1 billion United States dollar coupon payment on January 30th on its Euro bond maturing in 2027. Zambia became Africa's first pandemic-era sovereign to default after it missed a $42.5 million United States dollar Euro bond coupon payment in November. Mr. Mcheleka notes that the Patriotic Front administration has been borrowing for road infrastructure development to create a perception that it is taking development to the people. He has observed that Zambia's debt has been poorly invested, hence the country is failing to meet its debt obligations. And Mr. Mcheleka tells Camnet News that if the borrowed money was invested in productive sectors, it could have been able to pay the debt without seeking lenience from its creditors.
You've seen already that the debt has become completely unsustainable. You may wish to know that Zambia borrowed heavily from two Eurobonds The first one was 2012, which was supposed to be due in full. In 2022 April, thereabout, one bullet payment. Already we have defaulted just on the interest, and even the subsequent Eurobond, which should have been due which is supposed to be due in full 2027, on which we are also paying interest. That also we have defaulted. The question is, even with that heavy borrowing, where was the money used? How was it used? Was it used prudently? Or was it based on clearly defined priorities to be able to turn around the economy, to be able to ensure that we get the value for the money which was borrowed, to get the returns on the investments? The answer is no. That money has actually, the back of it, gone to waste. We can't explain. And this is why you see today where the truth is now manifesting.
Transparency International Zambia, TIZ, is saddened with the news of the passing of Dr. Stella Mungaila, the Executive Director of the Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says Dr. Mungaila, who had not even clocked a year in the position, was a strong civil society leader whose influence on many aspects of Zambia's development efforts were slowly starting to show. He says her passing on is a great loss not just to the CSPR family but also the civil society fraternity and ultimately the country at large.
As TIZ, we have received the news of the passing on of Dr. Stella Mungaila, the Executive Director at CSPR, with utmost shock and grief. We believe that this is a very big loss, not just to CSPR, but to the civil society fraternity and ultimately to the country in general. Dr. Mungaila was a very strong civil society leader, and her influence on many different aspects of Zambia's governance as well as Zambia's development strides was already starting to be felt, despite the fact that she had not been with CSPR for a very long time. I think it was just under a year that she was appointed as Executive Director. So we would like to express our heartfelt condolences to Dr. Mungaila's family, but also to everybody at CSPR, and our prayer is that the Almighty God Himself will give the family of Dr. Mungaila as well as CSPR the peace and comfort that will help them to go through what is obviously a very trying moment and a very difficult period. So we regret the passing on of Dr. Mungaila, and we just pray that CSPR will continue to live up to the ideals and aspirations that she believed in.
We take another set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, I'm wondering. You know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish! You're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and look for companies that are homegrown. And we are proud to be one of those.
Hello, have you heard about MSika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, MSika is here. Advertise on MSika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
MSika, allowing your business to grow.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, South Africa has put its rollout of the Oxford ASTRAZENECA vaccine on hold after a study showed disappointing results against its new COVID variant. Scientists say the variant accounts for 90% of the new COVID cases in South Africa. The trial, involving some 2,000 people, found that the vaccine offered minimal protection against mild and moderate cases. But experts are hopeful that the vaccine will still be effective at preventing severe cases. South Africa has recorded about 1.5 million coronavirus cases and more than 46,000 deaths since the pandemic began, a higher toll than any other country on the continent. The country has received 1 million doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca jab and was preparing to start vaccinating people. South African Health Minister Zweli Mkhize said his government would wait for further advice on how best to proceed with the AstraZeneca vaccine in light of the findings. Meantime, he said the government would offer vaccine provided by Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer in the coming weeks. Still in South Africa, the number of electricity illegal connections continue to rise and continues to claim lives. One of the most recent victims, a 7-year-old girl from Ernadale, South Africa of Johannesburg. Some users bypass their meters and connect illegally. Others run live wires because electricity is yet to be rolled out in the area. A resident of Ernadale Extension 4 told an SABC reporter that despite the grave risks, they do not have a choice. We monitored SABC for a roundup.
The life of a 7-year-old soccer enthusiast cut short. Zoe Sauls was playing with her friends near this disused stadium on Thursday. She tripped over this live wire. Her mother, Zenith, alerted by her screams for help.
She was laying with this part of her legs on top of the cable there. So the right leg was burnt there.
She acted swiftly.
I came, I just lift up, the stump was lift up and it was removed her legs from me. As the moment I lay her down on the pavement, I could feel her pulse is still there.
She rushed her daughter to the nearest clinic.
I called out her name continuously. Zoe, Zoe, stay with me, we're almost there. Getting you help. Don't leave me. Not now.
She recalls anxious moments as medical staff were trying to save her life.
I could hear the sound of the machines as they were still busy with her. I could hear the sound of the heartbeat, coming back, going, coming back, going.
She heard the machines falling silent, knowing Zoe had lost the battle.
It's very sad and very painful because she was my only daughter. The only child that I had at the age of 7 to just, it's painful.
Her daughter is one of 3 people recently electrocuted in Annandale due to illegal connections. On closer inspection, a maze of illegal connections, seen as a necessary evil.
I hear you coming from there saying that you will never stop. Why?
Because we want electricity, my brother is a community. We can't live without electricity, and we are independent here in South Africa. And we will never stop to make a nyoka.
Government officials are being blamed for turning a blind eye.
We'll never stop to do that until the government put the face of us and make the thing that we want.
What is it that you want?
I want electricity, my brother. I want electricity.
Hundreds of sheikhs are connected illegally. 33-year-old Janelle Jansen says there's no other option.
It's very sad. I'm a mother of 4. I have a baby of 7 months. I've been living for 3 years now here. I'm the first one to occupy this place, the very first one. Me as well as a parent, I'm putting my child's life in danger. But what choice do I have as a mother?
We need light. We need to bath the children in hot water. We need to bath ourselves to go to work or to peace jobs.
We haven't had any positive feedback with regards to proper electricity. So right now that is our only option that we have.
And a heartfelt plea for services to be rolled out.
The solution is what they've done in Meritim, to go and put up electricity for these people, put up water for them there, so that these people can have proper place to stay. And then this illegal connections will not take place. Because there are also people battling for houses.
But the area is not yet earmarked for electrification.
We wait for the Department of Human Settlements to ensure that they proclaim the area first before we can put electricity. We, as the city, we cannot electrify illegal settlements. So that's why we are not electrifying this area.
There's also little movement on infrastructure repairs and development.
South Africa on Sunday suspended plans to inoculate its frontline workers with the ASTRAZENECA vaccine after a trial suggested it isn't effective in preventing illness caused by the variant dominant in the country.
I think at one stage we were highly optimistic, although the data weren't really available to me, that this vaccine might well protect based on the experience that was gained in the United Kingdom as well as in Brazil. And as I indicated to you, had the variant not evolved in South Africa, we would have been in a pretty good space. In that through to the 31st of October, we already observed more than a 75% reduction in mild and moderate illness that occurred at least 14 days after the first dose of the vaccine, at the time when the B1351 variant was not circulating. Unfortunately, we haven't subsequently been able to replicate those findings in that when looking at vaccine efficacy against this particular variant, we have not been able to determine that the vaccine actually protects against mild to moderate illness.
South Africa received its first 1 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine last week and was expected to begin giving jabs to healthcare workers in the middle of this month. Authorities said plans were underway to secure alternative vaccines.
There are discussions going on Sputnik
Sputnik V. There are discussions going on the Sinopharm. The department and the Ministerial Advisory Committee are dealing with that. There are discussions that are going on with Moderna, and we will also need to explore on Novavax, because that one had not been much of discussion. So the discussion on all of them remains open, and we will continue with those.
The doses are set to expire in April. South Africa has continued to see a decline in new cases, logging just over 2,400 on Sunday.
We now get into sports news. The Football Association of Zambia FAZ has completed the disbursement of the first batch of funds to its Super League and National Division 1 clubs from its sponsors. FAZ General Secretary Adrian Kashala says league sponsors MTN and SuperSport had dispersed the first batch of funding, which had since been transmitted to the membership as per contractual demands. The FAZ General Secretary says National Division 1 clubs would soon be receiving the first batch of their 100,000 kwacha support from Aden University and Top Star. FAZ has increased the sponsorship to the National Division 1 club from 22,000 kwacha to 100,000 kwacha. Clubs will receive 50,000 from the first batch of the sponsorship, with the remainder to be remitted once the second component has been received by FAZ. Kashala says FAZ will not relent in its crusade of transparently disbursing the resources to its membership. The FAZ MTN Super League has 18 members, with the same number for the FAZ Aden University National Division 1. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Poor road infrastructure in garden compound IRKS residents. Discovery of expired medicines at ZAMMSA disappoints health minister. A LUSAKA juvenile accused of murder appears in court for explanation of the charge. In international news, South Africa holds ASTRAZENECA vaccine rollout over new variant. And in sports news, FAZ disperses sponsorship money to clubs. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from the book of Hebrews 4 verse 12, and it reads, "For the word of God is living and effective and sharper than any double-edged sword, penetrating as far as the separation of the soul and the spirit, joints and marrow. It is able to judge the ideas and thoughts of the heart." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.